know, Ida, that there's an initiative that you are just beginning as well to protect and preserve 1 million hectares of forest in Indonesia. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, that initiative actually came after we announced our forest conservation policy, or our zero deforestation policy, in February 2013. Once we made the announcement and the real work began, that when I realized and my team realized, like, this is the amount of challenges that we're facing is much bigger than we thought it was going to be. And we realized that by addressing one or two concessions are not really solving the issues. We need to address the landscape. That's when, at the same time, a number of NGOs under Environmental Paper Network also come up with their milestones for APP to achieve, and one of them is basically restoring natural forest or addressing past legacy in deforestation. And that's actually in line with what we had in mind as well. So after listening to a number of NGOs, including Greenpeace and WWF, of course, we finally came up with this new initiative to protect and restore 1 million hectares of forest in Indonesia, including in Sumatra, is actually under a lot of threats right now, and in Kalimantan.
So can companies potentially engage with you on that? Are there ways for companies to either add to those 1 million hectares or potentially participate in the process?
Yeah, we're still in discussion with quite a lot of stakeholders right now, including the government as well, because we will not succeed if it's not supported by the government as well. So we are trying to align our program with the existing mechanisms, such as reduction of emission from forest deforestation and forest degradation. So with this mechanism, we hope that more and more stakeholders will participate into us helping Indonesia protect and restore natural forest. How, I think we hope that we're going to announce it soon, because we need to consult with stakeholders on how to do this properly. Because protecting and also restoring forests in Indonesia is not just the responsibility of Asia Pulp and Paper. Yes, we're not going to shy away from our commitment to 1 million, but to protect this long term is everybody's responsibility. You know, you guys, you're also responsible for some deforestation happening in Indonesia and elsewhere as well. So everybody's responsible to protect and restore what happened in Indonesia and other countries.
Yes, please do. Just for the group here, if you're not currently sourcing out of Indonesia, but trying to figure out how you can make a difference as well, 60 to 70% of the deforestation is caused by agriculture. So bringing trees back into agricultural landscapes, in addition to working with sustainable logging, preservation of high conservation value forest, et cetera, is really critical. Organic does not do that currently, right? So you want to, and organic does a lot of good things, but that's not one of the things that they do. So there's different choices for you as you're thinking about, all right, well, I'd like to do this commitment to no deforestation, to zero deforestation. How do I do that? And one way you can do that is if you're purchasing forest products through commitment to Forest Stewardship Council certification, or to companies that have validated commitments around zero deforestation. Another is to look at agricultural certifications that do that. So a little plug for us, of course. Rainforest Alliance certification has a no deforestation cutoff time for the producers. So you want to, there's ways that you can get those proxies that you can feel comfortable about in your supply chain by making those kind of commitments. And then you can also support those companies by supporting the work that they're doing around restoration, because I do believe that the commitment that APP is making to bring the forest back, that Avery Dennison is doing to help communities in Honduras, in addition to your own supply chains, you want to help bringing these trees back to the ecosystem for so many reasons. Climate change is one, but I can tell you in these agricultural landscapes around the world where we're working, you've got soil degradation, you've got water exhaustion, you've got people living with really low productivity on less than $1 a day because the environment is destroyed through the lack of trees is a huge part of it. So yes, I'm a tree hugger, proudly, right? But we need your help to bring those trees back to the ecosystem.
One quick thing about what APP is doing that I think is really a great model for sustainability and the new way that sustainability is done. I think there's been a lot of talk about working pre-competitively for sustainability, and I think there's perhaps some merit to that, that everybody adopts a basic standard where you're not cutting down forests or not engaging in some kind of other egregious environmental destruction. But what APP has done is they did their no deforestation policy, and then they went ahead and they used that not as a ceiling but rather as a floor to go out and innovate. And announce something that's really now setting a high bar for industry. And we're hoping other companies will invest in restoration and conservation as well.